AI is clearly here to stay. Actually, it's quite interesting to understand that it's a technology that's more than 50 years old, but just with present technology breakthroughs on the chip side, it became possible to get in a total new space of possibilities with AI. So we had deep neural networks for many, many years, but just now in the last couple of years, it became possible to do things that have not been imagined so far. So it's very clear it's here to stay. It's going into the embedded systems, it's going into the edge, and it makes the systems much smarter, because the important thing is that you don't have to program and tell the system what it needs to do. It can learn from data, it can learn from experience and perform these tasks in an automated and almost autonomous way. So that's the important thing. So our machines will become smarter and we will open up totally new possibilities. The second aspect is clearly that we will see a revolution on the user interface side of things, because with things that everybody has in its mouth, large language models, ChatGPT, you can do really smart user interface to automate tasks, to ask for more intelligent things than just giving very detailed commands, but you can do much more complex interaction. It's also noteworthy that, as you said, it's a technology that we do not fully understand. If we get a next generation of networks, let's say we get a network that's twice the size that what we have today, we don't understand right now what are the capabilities of this network in the future. So we don't understand if it's twice as big, it will have this emergent property. So we don't understand that right now. So people are always, even the experts, surprised about certain properties that are coming up emergent. That's very important, and for our specific problem area, it's clearly about AI and safety. So because what the AI networks do, it's basically some sort of a statistical curve fitting property. So it learns from the experience and tries to emulate this in a very smart way. But it's very hard to say from these big networks with the current technology, is it really safe? Does it really avoid corner cases where there could be unsafe behavior? So while we provide this safety platform where we can host and run these AI networks, there will be in the next 25 years for sure a lot of possibility to further the state of safety and AI. We are working on that quite intensively to bring that forward to make our systems safe even while utilizing smart AI.
I really believe that in 25 years from now on, we will see autonomous machines everywhere. So construction equipment, tractors, on and off-road vehicles. So especially in the off-highway market, there are thousands of applications that can be automated up to autonomous machines. What we now see on the market is a step-by-step approach to that. So from simple object recognition for warnings for the driver to partly automated systems, we will see an involvement up to really autonomous machines. And we want to support our customers in all those phases.
So when we look back in the history of humanity, we always had climate change. But what's happening now, it's really a climate change which is happening in a very short period of time. So since the start of the Industrial Revolution, we have basically seen an increase of temperature, and we are now at this threshold of 1.5 degrees higher than the average temperature before the Industrial Revolution started and before we started to emit CO2 into our atmosphere. And I think it's very important that we, first of all, restrict the further output of CO2 into our atmosphere, because we simply cannot cope with the heat on our planet. We are simply overheating, and many of our ecosystems die. So the ecosystems are not used to these temperature shocks in such a short period of time. And so even if we manage to get basically back to 1.5, 2 degree warming, it will require a lot of effort for our generation to cope with this limiting of the CO2 emissions. And then we also have to look at the next step, how to get CO2 out of the atmosphere again with CO2 capture and usage technologies. And when you ask me what can TTTech do in helping to prevent this drastic change of temperatures rising especially in our environment, which will rise much more than 1.5 degrees, because we are in a region where we will see probably 3-4 degrees of rising temperatures. We need to do everything we can do in our sphere of competence that we limit the emission of CO2. And how can we do this? On the one hand, by supporting the uptake of renewable energies, of basically CO2 neutral energies, like solar technologies, like wind power technologies. And here the TTTech competence comes in, that with our control systems, with our networking expertise, with our cloud connectivity, with our journey to more autonomous machines, we can support these technologies that are helping to prevent or that are supporting these renewable energy assets. And I just want to bring two famous examples. One is our long-standing and very successful partnership with Vestas, one of the premium and leading wind power companies in the world, where we are providing a lot of intelligence for the wind turbines and continuing this partnership. And hope also in 25 years we will be still a partner of Vestas of choice for everything which is control, communication, inside and beyond the wind turbines. But also in terms of these distributed energy management systems that we are very actively working on together today, where we believe that if you can provide a digital platform that helps to deploy the renewable assets in a way that you support the grid and you support our power networks, the power grid networks, it will provide a lot of benefit to our society. And that we can not only distribute the energy, but we can use the energy where we produce it. And we can support how to make a much better balancing of the grid and a much more sustainable energy system. So that's the second big vision that we are working on. And I hope that in 25 years, we will have a fully CO2 neutral electric system in all the places around the world, not only in Europe, and that the TTTech technology and solutions might play an important part in those systems. And this is, I think, a vision that we would like to work forward.
The Internet of Everything is something that you got used to, also in the private consumer world. And at the end, the Internet of Everything connects everything, as the name says. But what is the consequence out of that? The consequence is it increases the convenience, it increases the seamless use of multiple things on one platform. So for the final user, it's a total improvement and makes things easier. We can adapt faster. But what we do not see is all the infrastructure below the seamless integration. And this is now really the playground for TTTech, where we with our platforms basically provide and enable technologies on top. So we do all the complex things below that the people don't want to deal with, that take time, and instead to help our customers to reduce their time to market. And we help the consumers to get earlier benefits.